Welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast, where we explore and celebrate the craft beer industry, community, and history in Tacoma, Washington, and surrounding Pacific Northwest areas. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get to it. Yeah, welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out. And yeah, we're going to talk about a bunch of awesome beer stuff today. My name is Matt McLaren. I'm here with Ron Swarner.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
Good. It's a good day.
It is a good day.
And then
it's hot.
it's just so fucking hot outside.
We need some rain.
I can't keep my shit straight because my brain is just melted. And then, of course, Sean Jackson.
Feeling really good.
Good, man.
Pretty bonered up for this one.
That's exactly what I want to hear. And the reason that Sean is bonered up, of course, is our guest today, who is the wonderful Mike from Rainy Daze Brewing.
How's it going, guys?
How are you, man?
So good.
Thanks for rolling down here.
Hell yeah, man. It's awesome.
Mike, what are you drinking, man? Or actually, I should ask Sean what you're drinking.
Yeah,
He poured
that's
your beer.
Sean. I already
Sean, what's
forgot.
Mike drinking?
We hit him with the Single Hill Citizen Grain Pills. We were both dipping into the Chainline 2019 Penn Badge Barley Wine.
As you should.
And then he's finishing off a little bit of some Black Butte 34.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Triple fisting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creative juices.
Why not? It's my shift beer.
Saved your shifties. Rolled down here.
I don't know how else I'm going to run up your tab for today. Just keep bringing the beers. Like, thanks for being on the podcast. Here's your tab.
Drive home safe. Ron, what are you drinking, man?
I'm drinking Mike's Hef.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's delicious.
Thank you.
I'm actually drinking Mike's Pilsner. So lots of rainy days in front of, at least in front of this table.
Here to party.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Doug and I are in on that Kool-Aid. Yep.
So yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and just want to say thanks real quick to everybody who's kind of binged the first few iterations of this podcast. We've gotten great feedback and positive comments, so we appreciate you guys for listening and reaching out. And please feel free to do so at cheers@gritandgrainpodcast.com. Today we're bullshitting with Mike about the work that he does at his wonderful brewery, and yeah, and we're gonna get into some of that shit, some of the nerdy stuff, and maybe some fuck-up stories, which is Sean's favorite topic.
Very much so.
Probably more
It's
of those.
Sean's life. Chapter 1.
I know. How much time do we have?
Mike, are you still working 20 hours a day? Or have you pulled back?
I think I'm down to 22 now.
Jeez.
No, I don't know. It's I'm trying
Down to
cut back a little
22.
bit. Yeah, I try to cut her back a little bit, but it's kind of tough still.
Yeah. You're known as the hardest working man in the brewing district.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's not really what I want to be known for.
Yeah, I mean,
We didn't say it was the only thing.
This should be the focal point, not
yeah.
the work.
Oh, thanks.
I know.
Has that kind of been the hustle since like pandemic, or have you always just kind of put in
No, since
too much?
Day one. Yeah,
Day one?
since Day one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Day one. It's been like 7 days a week. It was always easy 14, 16-hour days.
Yep.
Especially trying to do the grind out of my house, barrel in a house system, twice a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I was the sales guy, delivery guy, bartender. Yeah, it takes a toll on you. Then I thought, I'll go to a bigger place, man. I'll have it made. Nah, that ain't happening.
So just to give everybody a more like appropriate intro, Mike is the proprietor and brewer at Rainy Daze up in Poulsbo. Awesome brewery, one of the premier breweries kind of in the Kitsap area and on the peninsula there, and has spread his beer all over Washington and has garnered quite a bit of acclaim for all sorts of reasons, on top of just his insane work ethic. Yeah, man, that's a common story with a lot of brewers. Is the hustle is crazy and the grind is real, and you're in there for an easy double day. Like Shane, we talked to Shane at E9 in the last episode, and he kind of said the same thing. Not the last one, but the first episode, and his grind was kind of like he had mentioned that it was like in the pursuit of like a really good product, and I always like wonder like if you're grinding that hard, is it aiming at a specific quality of beer, or are you aiming at like a specific volume? Like, are you trying to expand the brewery and your sales, or are you trying to put out like the most like optimal product that you can reach?
It's always been. I think the main thing is that I'm trying to just excel at making the best beer I can, for sure. And I am kind of weird about stuff, and I've had to like tone it down a little bit, I guess, because I do want to make great beer, and it's like not everybody sees the same thing, and I keep getting told that it's like nobody's gonna have the heart and soul into it that you do,
Sure.
And so they're there for a job, they're gonna do their job and leave, So it's kind of hard on that aspect, because I just want everybody to have the same feeling I do. So I stick around, and I just work it hard. I don't care, weekends, whatever. I'll just go in and just thrash on stuff, and just make it happen. And I've tried to increase volume too at the same time. I found that I don't really care about that right now. I mean, it's like it's kind of it's a hard grind, It's a super hard grind, especially right now with not being able to find a lot of people, especially where we're at.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody's finding the same thing, but it's like. It's tough, and so we were like hitting it hard all year until like the last month. Usually we should be really like smacking it, but I toned it down a little bit. Took a couple days off. I had to. I mean, it's just it gets I get burned out. Everybody's getting burned out around you.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, in general, it's like just trying to make the best beer we can, and I feel that we're starting to like really shine more than we have,
Nice,
which is good.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah, our tap room shows it. Our tap room's numbers are like killing it. So
nice. Man. That's great.
Yeah, it's been good.
So you were part of the West Sound Brewers for about 6 years. The one that Big Daddy started from Silver City.
I was. Yeah.
Are you still involved with them?
No, I haven't gone to any meetings. I mean, I just haven't had time to. I'd like to. I mean. It's just the time deal, But yeah, I'm still, I guess, a member. But it's like
honorary at this point,
non-functioning. I guess.
Have you employed any of them?
No, I haven't actually. Yeah.
Interesting.
God, Ron, way to call him out, man.
Sorry.
Well,
I know. Some of them have gone from home brewing into the system and.
Yeah, it's funny because one of them, it's funny, we did a collab with him kind of deal and our Pro-Am deal, and I made him clean the tanks, made him clean the kettle and shit.
Yeah.
You're going to learn today.
And that was it. He goes, I've done these before, nobody made me do it. I'm like, oh, hell, welcome to the world. Yeah. It's like, do you want to be a brewer? Here you go.
Yep.
It's not just
normally
like,
I just dump hops in the thing and they take a picture and
smile.
go.
Yeah, just
guess
smile.
what, motherfucker?
Pretty much. School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So I got a bad rep, I guess.
Nah, man, I respect that a lot, actually. They're going to learn.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's part of it, right? I mean, it's
totally.
Like, I mean,
that's the most of it.
I mean, I did it a couple times. I had the opportunity to like brew with Big Al. Kenny hooked me up,
Yeah.
And it was a long time ago. And yeah, Al stuck me in the kettle. He stuck me everywhere he could throw me. He just used me up all day, and I just smiled all day. It was the greatest thing ever, I loved it, but it's not everybody's got that, But if you really want to do it, you want to do it, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's what it's all about.
Did you have the same experience at Sound?
Yeah, no, I loved it there. Yeah. I mean, I worked there 7 months. I was only supposed to work there a month, because Brad was like super cool. He was just like, hey, you bought that system. I need some help. Why don't you come just learn some production stuff, come work for a month. And I was still running my shop too. So I just toned my shop down to 3 days instead of 5. I worked them for 2 days a week. And after the first month, I'm like, dude, can I just stay for a while? He goes, yeah, just don't open your brewery. Just stay here. And I'm like, I can't do that. But I can stay here until I get mine going. So I was there for 7 months, and it was fun. I worked my ass off every day there too. It was just, but that's what I like to do. I just like to work, So
when you say, I'm sorry.
Oh no,
Sorry,
I
Sean.
same question. When you say shop,
exactly, give me your house.
What kind of shop? Tell us about the transition from. What shop is it, Mike?
I did automotive electrical work for about 35 years.
That's a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm so glad So glad I do not do that anymore. So glad. I lifted the hood on the van yesterday. I smelled something, and I go, Bill, what's going on? He goes, I don't smell nothing. I lift the hood. It's got a blown hose, leaking power steering fluid. I looked at it. We got a shop next door. I walked over there. Hey, man, you guys want to do it? I don't even want to get dirty anymore. It's even hard to work on my old cars anymore. It's hard to just want to do it. I mean, I did it so long, and I'm glad I did it. I can't say I'm not, but I'm glad I don't do it now.
I wonder what life would be if you were one of the pioneers of brewing in Washington. That would be fucking strangely bitchin' fantastic.
Yeah, I might be. I might be retired.
You might be retired, man.
Probably you would.
or living underneath an overpass.
So, what brought upon the jump from shop to brewery?
What was that?
Like, why the jump from shop to making beer?
I'd homebrewed for about 20 years, and I always wanted to do it. I mean, actually, when I first started homebrewing, I probably didn't even homebrew a year, and I just wanted to quit working on cars. So I went to Seattle.
Yeah.
I talked to Cantwell and some of those guys. And they're like, what do you do for a living now? And I told them, they go, yeah, just stick with that, man. There's no money in this. I'm like, okay. All right.
The fact that fucking Dick Cantwell was the one that said that to you?
Yeah, it's like, okay. So I
One piece of advice, kid.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so I just went back to doing whatever, and I just was done with it. I had a heart attack when I was 47, so like 10 years, almost 11 years ago.
God damn.
And that kind of was the turning page. I was just like, okay, I'm slaving my ass off here, working on cars, doing things that, like I said, I did automotive electrical work.
Sure.
So there's not a lot of people that can do it. And so I was doing so many cars, and most people are already bitter because they already paid somebody $1,000 to fix their car, and it's like, it's not my fault.
Right.
And so, and no matter if you could fix it in an hour and charge them $90, they still weren't nice, And it's
Sure.
like, I don't want. Why should I deal with that? I want to deal with that.
That sounds like
anymore.
a fucking drain.
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
It was,
dude.
yeah. So it wasn't my thing anymore.
Yeah.
And so I just, like I said, I had the heart attack. I was just trying to decide what to do, and this little system came up, and it was a little brewery in Poulsbo called Battenkill Brewing, and stuff got posted up. And so one of my best friends, Mike Painter, I talked to him, and he's like, "Hey, I'll help you out." So I sold a whole bunch of cars and stuff, and just whatever. And we bought the system, and that's when it started. And it's
What year was that?
That was would have been 2011. Yeah,
Dang.
yeah. It took a little over a year to get it rolling.
Sure.
But yeah, it was a good transition.
Yeah.
I worked both. It took me about a year to get it going, and then I actually ran my shop and did the brewery for a year and a half. So I was working in my shop 3 days a week, and going home at night and brewing and stuff still.
Dang.
And so I work on the 4-hour sleep shift for a long time. So,
Crazy that the 14-hour day grind wasn't super unusual for you.
yeah, it's just weird. In the last year, though, is where it actually is hitting me, where it's like, I got to go home and take a nap.
Yeah. I'm big tired right now.
I'm like, what's happening to me? I can't keep rolling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just did both. And then I got to the point where I had 50 accounts. And I was like,
Man.
whatever, man. I'm just going to do it.
Yep.
You either do it or you don't do it, right?
Sure.
I can always go back to working on cars.
Yeah,
Thank God I didn't have to.
Dive back into the thing that contributed to a major health lapse.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
What was
thanks.
the first keg delivery? Who was your first draft handle?
Actually, the first keg I delivered was I actually took it to Pumpkin Beer Fest.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I took a cask.
God,
I took a cask of Jack Got Baked. So it was we roasted the pumpkins and made a porter out of it, and I did a cask and I took it there. Good thing about that too is he paid me right then, and then I got really wasted and I lost the check. And I
Couldn't even frame it, man.
and I didn't ask for a new one.
I wouldn't have either.
I was so embarrassed. I was like, yeah, I'll thank Carter Camp for that one.
Yep.
You know
This one's on me, guys. Don't even sweat it.
Oh yeah,
That's a good welcome to the industry.
Yeah.
Oh, I got too drunk and I fucked a thing up for my job. Oh, cool. Welcome to the beer industry.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it, might as well do it.
Yup,
Right?
go all in, man.
You're kind of talking about fuck ups, and that was the thing. Like, I fucked up a lot of things, but it was never my own money, right? So it's like, sorry, boss, I lost the check is a lot different than fuck.
Sorry, honey, I lost the check.
No bacon this week.
Yeah, my first check. I didn't even get it. Oh well. I mean,
What was when you were homebrewing? What was your what did you feel like your wheelhouse was in terms of style? Were you kind of all over the place? Were you kind of dialed in like on a particular region?
definitely IPAs. Yeah, I've always been a hophead, so yeah, it was definitely more geared that side. Yeah, for sure.
Shows in your work now.
Nice.
For anybody
Yeah.
unfamiliar, Rainy Daze has come down to Tacoma and showed this whole town a thing or two about how to make hazy IPAs in a few invitational little competitions that we've done here. So yeah, it shows in your work now for sure, man.
I appreciate that very much. Yeah, it's funny how I toned them down so much from when I used to tone them down a lot.
Yeah.
That's probably like it's like a overall palate has probably toned them down for you.
Yeah,
and
no,
you're just kind of following the, that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
There's
yeah.
people still clinging on to IPAs that were 20 years ago, and those people are, like you said, closing doors sometimes. So that's I think if you're staying updated and you know what people are drinking and you're adjusting your beers accordingly, that's the move, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's always that's what's kind of good about like right now. I mean, normally, like I said, we're making 3 beers, July and August, June, July, August. Well, we did so well with like getting stocked up, doing whatever, trying to figure it out. That right now I've actually got to screw around a little bit, and that's what makes me happy.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like I still got to brew, I still got to deal with logistics, but it's like if I can just like think something out and do it, it's awesome.
Nice.
So much fun.
Yeah, something holiday bizarre-ish, and I love your adjunct eclectic freaking super badass beers. Really, the kitchen sink stuff is incredible. But you also you've done a great job. Like you nailed it on the heft. That was your first time, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
This is your first hef?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I've done some like kind of wheat beers, but this was like the first one. Just, I didn't want to do like a super traditional, it's definitely a different yeast strain, but I mean, I wanted something that, we've been just getting a lot of people come in the brewery and say, hey, you got a hef. I'm
Right.
like, no.
You were kind of just aiming at like a kind of standard American hef, like. Was that the idea with this one?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like it's a lot of people go German, a lot of people go Belgian. Like nobody really aims at like a contemporary like Widmer iteration. So like it's cool to have one that's like fruity and like has some robust flavor, but is still crushable. And it's a good version, man. It's crazy that that's your first shot at that.
Yeah, sometimes it's like I don't know. It's like I did a Schwartz beer not that long ago, and I was so blown away that it actually was what it was. I was like, man, I'm really rolling the dice on this one. But
that's such a good feeling as a brewer.
Yeah.
But you also make a white stout, and it wins awards every year.
Yeah, that's a crazy beer. Yeah, it's kind of funny because I let it run out. I just like to do that because it's a love-hate relationship with me and that beer. I hate making it. And I think it hates me because it's like long fermentations when it shouldn't be. It's like it's just drawn out. And it's just and the consistency of trying to keep it the way it is all the time. It's hard,
It's pretty adjunct heavy. Like for anybody unfamiliar, a white stout it is what it says, but you can't get those roasty, coffee, chocolatey flavors out of a beer that doesn't have roasted malt in it, which would normally turn your beer not white. And so when you have a white stout, you have, just a high ABV kind of blonde ale almost that you have to add a lot of these adjuncts to. So additional flavorings like coffee and sometimes vanilla and sometimes other things and chocolate and yeah, getting consistency on those added ingredients can be a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, no, it is. It totally is. But.
So for a beer like that to be a brewery's most popular beer is unusual.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's like it's definitely like even with customers, it's like it has like a weird cult following there.
Totally.
So it's like because when I don't have it on, like right now, I have it on probably a month. It hasn't been on.
Sure.
So we have it on the brew schedule for like another week. But I have people that come up from Olympia and they're buying 7 cases at a time, and it's so weird. But then it's like we try to put it out there, and we get a lot of wholesale accounts that want it because the bartenders like had it, they love it.
Yep.
Well, then they put it on, but I don't think they know how to sell it, correctly.
Exactly.
So
Totally.
It is a tough
so it's like it's a tough one to sell.
Yeah.
And like it not just me, but it's one of those you love it or you hate it.
Sure.
Because it's that style, I think.
Yeah, totally.
And but yet I have a lot of people that just like I said, I don't have it on right now. I get a lot of hate. So I'm not at the tap room for a while.
I could name you. I feel like I could name like multiple accounts that when you have it available, it's a permanent handle for them, like which is so unusual for that style. And it was like only a few breweries have really messed with that style in the past like 8 years, really. And it's interesting to see one that's like so popular and is relatively consistent in that realm of beer.
Yeah, and the funny thing about beer, it's like like a lot of beers have stories and stuff, but it's like I had just started. It was the first year, and I ordered a tank, and I had it built down in California. So me and my buddy did a road trip, went and picked up this tank, threw it in the back of the van. We're coming back. Mm-hmm. We stopped at Cascade on the way back.
Yeah, they
had a beer,
They kind of pioneered that shit,
and I was
dude.
like, I tasted it. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yep.
And so I went home and I thought about it for like 3 weeks, just trying to spin it through my head. And then they always do a Poulsbo beer run for St. Patty's Day. So there you'd run or walk or whatever between the breweries that were there.
Yeah.
And so I did it, and I was feeling pretty good when I got back there. And all of a sudden it just hit me. I mean, it hit me exactly what I need to do with it. So I looked at my buddy Rick that used to help me out all the time. I'm like, we need to go. We need to go right now back to the brewery and make this beer. And we were both like pretty,
nice.
pretty good.
Inspired.
Very inspired. yeah.
So creative juices were flowing.
Yeah, so I just ran back home, just got on my computer, laid it out real quick, went up, milled in, and we just started brewing it. We got like halfway through it, and we both looked at each other and like, what the hell are we doing? 'Cause it's like... that's the onset of it, but it was fun. It just hit.
It's like song lyrics hitting you, or a fucking, it's like
that's do it now while it's in your head, right?
Yeah,
I mean, because
you'll forget what's going to make this cool.
Yeah,
if you don't write it down now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you put coffee in it?
Smoke and mirrors.
Good answer.
I taste the smoke and I smell the mirrors. It's really weird like that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a coffee, deal addition to it. Yeah.
Are it green beans?
No, I've got some once to try it, and I just didn't. I just had this hesitation. I could.
Good call.
But no, I just we've just messed around with different roasts and different roasters, and then we found like a good combination that seemed to work really well with it.
Yeah.
So,
and it wins the Gig Harbor Beer Festival every year.
Yeah, it usually does. Yeah, they didn't announce any winners this year.
I didn't
it was weird. I don't know why, but
every other year you win.
Yeah,
everybody gets a trophy this year.
Participation.
That's everybody's first year back doing festivals.
Right.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Give them a minute.
Congratulations, you showed up.
Here's a ribbon. Do you guys do Bremerton Brewers Fest?
Oh, we did.
You did?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
How was it?
It was Friday was like a little slower. Mm-hmm. Saturday was good. It was funny. We had it on the ticket to take that Hefeweizen, and then last minute I was like, I've been sitting on this beer for a couple months, so we threw in some kegs. I was trying to figure out. I wanted to bottle it. And then I'm like, I don't have time. I was kind of like, well, it's almost like, screw it. Let's drop a keg of this. So we had some, it's Imperial Hall & Oates Stout.
Oh, nice.
We had rum barrels and we had in bourbon barrels for like 18 months. And then
That's what you guys served at Bremerton Beer Fest?
yeah, we took it there, and so anybody that asked for
Came to
Hefeweizen, go, I
fucking
don't
play,
have
dude.
Hefeweizen, but I have this.
Rich girl.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, it wasn't too far off. I mean, so yeah, we took that beer, and it was like, people really dug it. So
Nice.
throw a new one at them.
That's what's up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, but it was good. It was a good turnout. It was great weather. It wasn't too hot. It was,
Any shade this year?
yeah, I was. It was weird. My tent was under shit. No, I was. At least my tent was.
Usually everyone's against that one wall.
No,
Like,
yeah.
just-
It wasn't bad though. I mean, everybody said it was like very. It was
Cool.
yeah. It was a good day. It was only like 70. 68, 70. It was perfect. Yeah.
Nice.
Not during actual heat wave.
Yeah, no, for sure.
yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, and then I think we'll come back. And I know Sean wants to hear fuck-up stories, because that's his...
We will come back.
Yeah.
I already gave you one.
No,
Oh, no, we need more. No, we need more.
I am not satiated with that story, sir. I desire.
All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back.
That's awesome.
Thanks for sticking around. I know, right? As we say every week, if you have not yet, please do check out Channel 253. It's a wonderful local organization that provides a network of podcasts that helps you stay connected to your community. Local community organizers and community members and leaders who give out tons of information on Tacoma as a city and a community. And if you want to stay connected and keep up with what's going on, that's a great way to do it. And you can support Channel 253 by going to channel253.com/memberships. So we were going to talk about fuck up stories, but Ron actually just poured us fucking lovely beer. And so I want to talk about it. What is this?
What's the brewery name?
It's Moxa?
Moxa?
It's Moxa.
Moxa?
Moxa? I
I'm
don't
not
know,
sure.
man. I've met the dude and I've heard him say it, and I still don't remember. So
So I just went down, drove down to Auburn, California, to pick up some Moonraker for Tacoma Beer Week. The Parkway, Peaks and Pints, and Rainier Growlers were going to do an event with Stemma and
Moonraker and
Hair of the Dog.
Yeah.
The last beer brewed at Hair of the Dog, which Sean and I brewed with Alan, and it's called Alan. But next door to Auburn is just a little west is Moxa, and they kill it with the stouts. And I when I was there 4 days ago, I drank what was a s'mores version of what we're drinking right now. Well, this is a vanilla cinnamon called That's That. But the thing I drank at the tap room was crazy good. Wow. But this is not too shabby.
this is excellent.
So,
Obviously, we're talking about like adjunct heavy beers, with Mike brewing a white stout that requires a lot of that. There's plenty of breweries out there who make these big imperial stouts and add adjuncts, which, if you're unfamiliar, are just additional flavors or additional flavorings on top of the grain and yeast and water and malt and beer. Honestly, getting the right balance and the right sweetness and the right finish when you use those extra ingredients is tough. Moxa's really well known for doing a killer job at that. I've had a Stroopwafel beer from these guys that was like bananas good, like absolutely knocked me on my ass. And this is phenomenal. So thanks for sharing.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I know Sean is waiting for fuck up stories.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'll start.
Even better.
Yeah. I mean, it's brewery related fuck up story. So I was working at Mudshark Brewing, and we're going through Flagstaff and Sedona, and we were peddling beer, and we were also responsible for cleaning our own draft lines. So any place you sold beer to, you had to occasionally go and clean things up. Yeah, fucked up, right?
Wow.
Yeah, that is.
It was not
So
conducive
different.
to getting craft beer on tap, right? And that was the whole ploy, because all your big wholesalers, all those houses had people that would come and take care of it. But yeah, once you got a handle, I guess the nice thing is once you had a handle, you probably had a handle.
Right.
But yeah, you had to clean your own clean your own lines. So
That's fucking insane to me.
That's crazy.
Insane to me.
we were doing a little trip through Flagstaff and Sedona, and I was the designated driver, and I was really, really good. Like, I had a couple sips of beer, but it was a really long day. Like, we left at like 5 a.m, and we stayed at Flagstaff Brewing really, really long, and we were driving home, and my owner and Captain Ron Schifo, the head brewer, were they were a little sleepy.
Jesus.
So they I'm gonna say pass out. Basically pass out. And I'm in the company van, and we're going down the mountain pass, and I'm starting to fall asleep, and I am very much like. Captain Ron Schifo is sitting shotgun, and I am trying like hell to wake him up. Like, hey. And there's really no place to pull over. Like, it's turn, guardrail. And so I start nodding, and it's like, there's cars in front of me. So it's like, I'm following the cars, and then eyes closed, and it's like, okay, red lights.
Man.
And yeah. So
my beehole just like clamped shut when you said that. I'm like so nervous. Like
I end up.
He lived though.
Obviously,
I know. I'm like,
this is bad.
this story must have a bad ending. Fuck.
So at some
Rest in
point,
peace,
my eyes
Captain Ron.
closed a little bit too long, and I clipped the fucking guardrail. Right.
Oh my god.
Now they wake up. Right? They're like, did you just hit the guardrail? And now, like, I didn't sleep for 3 fucking days after that, right? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm fucking good. Like, I'm good. Like, you guys relax.
Oh, no.
I don't think no one ever grilled me about it. Obviously, there was a little scuff on the van. I don't think I ever had to come clean about that one.
Wow.
Jesus, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a fucking nightmare.
Not for them.
I guess.
They were asleep. Teach you to make me the DD. This is not what I'm in this world for.
You're gonna learn today.
I should be passed out.
Well, that's your fault for listening to Bread.
Okay. Oh, shit.
So your turn.
Well, I didn't do that.
No.
You've never endangered somebody's life over beer? Right, daily. I know. Right? No, I mean, I've had my way fair share of screw-ups. There's no doubt about it. A lot of them are small. A lot of them just blow it off, whatever. But I remember I was at work. I came in on a Saturday, had a couple of mimosas, start off my morning, go and start doing some work. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to, I think I just transferred a beer into a tank. And it was Taylor's chocolate milk stout. So I put it, and it was a small batch, So I got in there. Well, I usually always have a valve on the end of my transfer hose. Well, I didn't that morning, and I thought about like, why? Oh, whatever, I'll just put it on there. Well, then when I go to take the clamp off, you know where I'm going with this.
Yes, I do.
Because I got one valve, not two. Well, it started pushing on me, and I'm in the cooler, and this thing's like blowing beer all over my crotch. My pants are full of beer, and I got it back on. Somehow I got it back on and got it back, and I probably lost, I don't know, 5-6 gallons or whatever, but it was still a mess. When it's in the it's in the cooler. I mean, I had to pull everything out of the cooler. I had to wash the cooler down, but I was just thankful that it wasn't worse, because now I experienced, fast forward, that was probably 2 years ago. Then fast forward to about 4 months ago, we hired some new guys, and one of them was on the road for a while. And then we brought him in to be a cellarman. And so he was doing pretty good, and he was getting ready to rack out some beer. We had some Goat Boater, had like a little over 300 gallons in there. And I was just getting ready to go in the cooler. I'm like, hey, you got this, man? He goes, yeah, I got it. He goes, if anything, he goes, this is what I got down. I'm like, perfect. And I go, you did spray the valves and stuff, right, with sanitizer before you put this together? And he goes, no, I forgot. I go, well, Let's do that.
Yeah.
I just walk in the cooler, go to grab some hops because I'm dry hopping something, and I hear him screaming like a little girl, screaming my name. I come running out, and this thing's like blowing straight out.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm trying to put it back together with a rig on it. You know, it's got a rig to do 4 kegs,
Yep.
so it's this big old heavy thing. I'm trying to put it back on there. Yeah, it didn't happen, man. I was soaked. He was soaked. He was crying the whole time. The whole time it's going on. I was like, whatever, man. My whole brewery had like a foot of foam in it. It was like, you know, and he's like, just fire me, Mike. Just fire me. And I'm like, no, just give me a hug, dude. I'm just glad you're alive. Whatever. You didn't get hurt. It's all right. You know, it's like, what am I gonna do? You know, but then he quit like
leadership, man.
Then he quits like a week later because he said he had PTSD from it.
No fucking way.
No, I'm serious, man.
Come on.
No, but it's serious. He didn't want to do anything after that.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Okay, that's pretty good.
but you know, it's just you don't know. I mean, stuff happens like that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
It
just.
does. Yeah.
For anybody
You
who
know?
doesn't like, if you're not familiar with like, you know, obviously the mechanics of a brewery, there's a lot of complicated machinery. But if you fuck a valve up in a brewery, like there's tons of beer under pressure, and like that stuff hits you with so much force. Like you're not only you taking a beer shower, but you're probably going to be beat to hell by the beer that is coming out of those things. And yeah, most of it is like foamy and carbonated and sticky at that point. And yeah, man, it's I don't know about PTSD. But you know,
It's a common fuck up story.
It is. Yeah,
But
Sean, the same
I'm
one.
on Mike's like you know, Shane had his story about dumping most of a batch, but like I've had a couple of those, but I'm in Mike's boat. Like I got the fucking I got the shit back on.
got the valve on. Yeah.
I lost a couple gallons, but it's like nope, ain't happening.
Oh, man,
Not today. Like
that's brutal. Too.
it is. It's
Having
really
to
hard.
like put a secondary valve on, get it tight, actually close it. Like it take like you got to fight with this like
Yeah,
100 pounds of force of beer like coming at
Oh
you.
yeah, it's just a fire hydrant. coming
Yeah,
at you.
man.
Yeah,
And you're just crouched down like a catcher. You know, it's like you're just taking it.
and it's
Try
like
not to take a piece of
fighting
metal to the
river water.
fucking pelvis, dude.
You've got
so
a
bad.
couple good attempts, and then like
You're
if
done.
You don't get it in a couple.
Oh, yeah, you're
times,
done.
Like, you're
It's
done.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like
just
you just power through, and you're gonna. The beer angels are gonna fucking smile upon you. And
Yeah,
have you at it, or-
Your
You
fate
are
is
fucked.
sealed, man.
But I've had other instances where I'm like, the hangover working days. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. I almost ripped the whole garage door off with the forklift one day.
God.
Yeah.
It was not good.
Dude.
I'll be right back. I go to Home Depot, man. I gotta buy all new rollers and hinges and come back and fix it.
That's a good $6,000 fuck up if you have to call somebody.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, some days like, oh God, why did I do that? But yeah, there's been a lot of days where I'm like, what was I thinking? You know, but yeah, no, I've like, well, even not like one thing I was doing, but we were doing a fresh hop beer, and my guys were kind of green, but they'd been with me out at my house too, so they kind of knew what was going on, but we start to go running off this beer, and unknown named guy like opens our system. Like if you can open the valve to the hot liquor tank and open the valve from the kettle, they run to the pump, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he'd opened them both, and the next thing, and nobody was paying attention, because we're doing a bunch of other stuff running around. Next thing you know, half my beer was in my hot liquor tank.
Oh my.
Ooh, shit.
Good Lord God.
It was so
Okay,
that was
Sean.
that was a very sacred batch because
Wait a minute.
we got like 2 barrels out of it. You drive to Yakima, you get up 3 a.m, drive to Yakima.
Sean's fucking triggered right now.
And then, so then you got
just the cleaning.
so now you got to
your hot
clean.
liquor tank.
Now
This
you
would
gotta
have been
clean your
my
hot liquor
job.
tank before you can go on with the rest of the day, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was mind blowing.
Clean it, fill it, wait for it to get back to
Yeah.
temperature.
Yeah. And I'd already been up at 3 a.m, and I drove over and got the hops, and I just told those guys to get the mash going, and I'd be back. And well, then I get back. So I'm already up like, who knows how many hours, and then this
I
happens.
assume you just gave him a hug.
Hops are deteriorating by the minute.
No, that was
hugs on that day.
No, that was the early years.
Just fire me, Mike.
It's 50-50, hug or punch in the nuts.
Yeah, I was like, so yeah.
Just fire me. Just fire me.
Just
He didn't
fire
say
me.
that though. He didn't even apologize. He just like, it was just like, what do you do?
It's the
man?
PTSD.
Yeah.
So you mentioned fresh hops, and we're getting close to that, man. Are you looking forward to it, or is it a bane?
Yeah,
of your brewing year?
it's a logistic nightmare, but it's
Amen.
like it's a fun one though in a way. As long as everybody's on board that works with you.
Right.
Not everybody is all the time, but I think like this year there's like way more varieties available. This is the first year I'm actually going to be at Fresh Hop Fest. I've tried since I've been in business.
That's great.
And I finally got an opportunity to go there. So I think that's going to be super, super fun. I'm very excited to try some things.
Just so everybody knows, we brought up, we might have brought up fresh hops previously, but Yakima being, as we kind of mentioned in the previous episode, Yakima being such a huge hop growing region kind of gives the Northwest unique access to fresh hops as an ingredient in beer. Fresh hops or wet hops, depending on who you ask. But really, the Northwest and a few other places in the world are uniquely equipped to make beer using fresh hops. And every year around harvest time, which is typically the end of August, we start seeing guys kind of go down and travel to Yakima, work with some of their partner farms, taste through hops, and then bring non-dried and pelletized hops back, fresh hops that are still wet off the vine, and use them to make beer. And it's a logistical nightmare every fucking year, especially for me working on the distribution side. But for brewers as well, a lot of times those hops can deteriorate really quickly, and you have to get them into some liquid within a day usually. So it can be really tough. But what we get out of it is these insane, expressive, crazy flavored beers that only really exist in this part of the world, actually.
Suck it, Mississippi.
Yeah.
And Wyoming.
Totally.
But yeah, so when if you're listening to this, you might already be familiar, of course. But if you're not, in about a month to maybe 6 weeks, you're going to just see the entire Northwest be inundated with fresh hop beers. And if you do not partake, you absolutely should. It's a unique yearly experience that we all go through in the industry, but also in the community, and it's a ton of fun. And guys like Mike have to drive down to Yakima and work with their farmers and pick out what hops they want to put in their beers within 8 hours of being at the actual farm. It's insane, but it's a ton of fun.
Yeah, no, it is. It's like you drive back from Yakima. It's 90 plus degrees over there. You get in the van, you crank the air conditioner, and then you're okay when you first get in there, right? I'm just trying to keep the van as cool as possible.
Yep.
And by the time you get to the pass, you're freezing. It's like, oh, I didn't bring a hoodie. So you just like freeze all the way back. It's not hot over here most of the time. So it's like you just icicles coming out your nose, and you're like, anything for those hops. You're gonna make them cold, keep them cold.
That's right.
Mike walks in the brewery, nipples freaking rock hard. Like, forgot your hoodie again, didn't you? Yeah,
I did.
Mike, are you cold? No, I just got the dankest batch of fresh hop Nelson, and I'm really pumped about it.
Oh my god.
So anyway, drink fresh hop beers when you see them.
Yes.
Speaking of like unusual ingredients, Sean was drinking your Phantasma last episode, and so I wanted to we touched on it a little bit, but as an ingredient, how have you been liking Phantasm so far?
So that was the first beer. We got the second beer going right now.
Yeah.
Generally, that is used in hazies, extremely, right?
Yeah.
And I probably will do one, because we bought a fair amount of them.
Yep.
But at the moment, it's like I don't want to. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just want to try whatever. I mean, that's how
That's how new ingredients should go, man.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like, why do what everybody else is doing? Why don't we try it in a different manner?
Hell yeah.
So we did that beer, and I liked it. I think it was cool. It was fun to do.
It was delicious.
And we did it in a different manner too. I mean, it's hop dipping. You've heard of that?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so that's how we
say more about that.
So no hops were harmed in the kettle.
Okay. Okay.
More smoke and mirrors. No, I mean it's a different deal. I mean, it's like we've done probably 6 beers this way, where you actually make like a hop tea in your fermenter.
Yeah.
Like an hour, and let it steep for an hour before knockout.
Okay.
And so we did that with a Phantasm, and then normally I don't do a lot of mid fermentation dry hops, but this one, luckily, it was a single batch, so we had like tons of space, because it's just, you never know how volatile it's going to be.
Sure.
So yeah, we got this thing about halfway through fermentation, and just like hit it super hard.
With the Phantasm?
And hops, yeah, super hard.
Okay.
And I thought it was cool the way it turned out. I mean, it was. I was really hoping it would clear up, and it took it a little bit to brighten up because we hit it so hard.
Sure.
But it worked well. And so this time, what we're doing right now, what's in the tank, is we do a beer. My sales guy, Bill, he's like super rad. He's got a band that's fun, the Weirdos.
Nice.
So we've done the Weirdos. Well, we called it first a New Zealand IPA, or just New Zealand Pilsner.
Oh, okay.
Then this year,
It's the new hotness right now.
Then this year we called it a cold IPA but we changed the label and put bandwagon on it, so it was bandwagon.
That's too much of a peek behind the curtain, man.
Whatever. It's what it is.
Damn it, Mike.
It's what it is. Beautiful. Anything to be fun with it. It's like whatever.
How am I going to market this now?
And so now I'm actually brewing the same beer, but this time I add Phantasm to it.
Nice.
That's what's
cool.
going to happen, right?
That's cool.
I mean, it's like,
Yep.
it's, because it has, Galaxy, and it has Nelson in it. And, so you already got those white grape notes and stuff. So I just want to see, how's it going to boost it? What is it going to do? So, it might be spectacular. I don't know. I mean, it's just, I want to try it. So that's what we got going on right now with it. And I want to try some more stuff with it. I just haven't really decided exactly which way I'm going to go with it. I mean, will I do it to a fresh hop beer?
I don't know. That might be the ticket this year.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, it would be fun, whatever. I mean, it's like, it's.
It would be fresh with a pH.
That's it.
Thank you. Jesus.
Nice. My marketing
job.
guy, Ron.
Good night. One cinnamon vanilla stout later. Yeah, so if you're listening and you don't totally remember, obviously we talked about it last time, but Phantasm is using kind of old discarded wine grape skins and then dehydrating and making a powder and then making a huge punchy flavor addition to your beer. And it can be a supporting flavor, supporting ingredient to accent hops, or it can be kind of the main show. And we talked about utilization and processes and how it differs from brewery to brewery. I've seen grisettes, I've seen pilsners, I've seen sours that include it. Like, it's cool to see one ingredient that kind of everybody's kind of getting to play with a little bit, and how people are interpreting it differently. And that doesn't happen in beer a ton, really. Like, a new hop variety will come out every once in a while, and those aren't always what they say they're going to be when they're initially pitching them to people. But Phantasm has been a fun one to check out. I am curious if there's going to be a Phantasm fresh. Now I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, that's probably going to happen at some point.
Well, you never know.
Rookie of the year at Fresh Hop Fest. Right out the gate.
What else do you do with Zappa hops? Love that, Frank.
I think that's only the brewers are going to find that fucking joke funny. We're just about out of time, man. But Mike, dude, thanks for driving down here, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm so stoked to be here.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Fun.
man.
So much fun.
Yep.
Sean, thanks for Thanks for hooking it up.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's really an excuse to hang out with them.
I know, exactly,
Get them into town.
Mic'd up or not, man. This
in
was
a month now, so,
But
hashtag blessed.
Well, I panicked this morning because actually last night I went out on my boat and we got home, went to clean it, thought we got everything out of it. I scrubbed the heck out of the floors, the whole boat. My girlfriend gets in there, starts rinsing the floor down. She's like, "Oh my God, your phone! I just sprayed your phone." She handed it to me, like, "Oh, it still works. I'm good." Well, in the middle of the night, it started making all kinds of noises and flashing lights and stuff. I'm like, "Oh God, what am I gonna do tomorrow? Oh God," because like I can't contact anybody now,
Yeah.
So I scurried like crazy to finally get another phone. I thought I could warranty it out, but that wasn't happening. So it's like, give me a phone, and then now I'm trying to figure out how to use my phone when you called me. I don't even know how to use this new phone. It's like, oh, Sean called me. How do I call him back?
I got good timing like that. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm one of those servers. Like, I will ask you how's your meal when you have food in your mouth. I actually wait. Like,
Until you're taking a bite.
Yeah. Like, oh, hey, how's everything going for you?
Well, I'm glad you figured out the new phone and came down to hang out, man.
Yeah, hell
That's
yeah.
awesome,
So
dude.
fun. So fun.
Thanks again, and Ron, take us out, man.
All right. So there's a couple events happening around town.
Yeah, please.
So it's Friday, and Edison City Ale House is hosting their Sharkmas in July. So they're combining Shark Week and Christmas in July, and they're putting on some big beers and a lot of sharks. So it's Friday and Saturday. Something's happening also that Saturday. The Parkway is having their anniversary party.
87 years young we are. Yeah, there's going to be a couple good beers.
The fucking tap list is heinous.
It is.
Sean, you have done brilliant
Nice
work,
job.
man.
Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, it's not as abusive as it can get sometimes. But,
No, my
trying to be
liver,
cool
my
this
liver
year,
is
it's gonna
fucking
be hot,
ready.
But
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm already hydrating for
yeah,
it.
we'll have a beer garden up, live music. Beer list isn't gonna suck, and we've got some special barbecue and food specials that we're gonna
Nice.
coming out our sleeves.
All right, Grit and Grainers. Email us at cheers@gritandgrainpodcast.com with your comments, opinions, and water weenie sprays. We really need that right now. We read and drink everything we receive, and we'll try to respond as quickly as we can. If not online, on air. You can subscribe to Grit and Grain Podcast on Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. And please leave us a review. Also check out Channel 253 and the gritandgrainpodcast.com. If this podcast is not what you expected, please alter your expectations. Stuffed animals do not belong in rear windows of cars. Just going to say it. There's no such thing as a bad time to visit
Shots
Tacoma.
fired.
There's no such thing as too much barley wine, Sean.
Oh fuck no, there isn't.
Tune in next
Drink
Friday
my
for
way out of
more
the swimming
sweet
pool.
chatter. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us at Grit and Grain Podcast wherever you get your social media and catch new episodes every Friday. Cheers.
Grit and Grain is part of the Channel 253 podcast network. Check out our other shows: Nerd Farmer, Interchangeable White Ladies, Move to Tacoma, Crossing Division, Citizen Tacoma, What Say You, We Are Tacoma, Flounders B Team, and Taco Man.
This is Channel 253.